So guys, we've got a 2011 Jeep Cherokee, well, Grand Cherokee with a Hemi, and the customer complaint is it doesn't charge the battery. Let's see, I'm not going to be able to go back. There's just low voltage codes in all the modules, and then some stuff like tail light out and things like that. So got my Pico set up. We got my amp clamp around the positive side of the battery. Got the powers and grounds hooked up, and we're going to do a battery test and start this up. Let's see. Let me set this up to record for you guys. Start recording. And we're going to do, where's it at? Options. We're going to do an extended battery test. So hopefully this starts. There we go. And we are definitely not charging. We're at 11.2 volts. Let's look at the Pico. Yeah, see, it says waiting for charging. Oh, you know what? I have my amp clamp. I have my amp clamp on backwards. Nope. So we're going to save this. I'm going to set up and we're going to test the alternator. So guys, right now we have like 36 amps coming out of the battery with it running. The blue leads on the battery, the green leads on the jumper terminals, and yellows on the power, like the battery post from the alternator. I just have them separate a little bit so that you could see them so they're not overlapping. But what we did find out is, look how hot this alternator is. 400 degrees right now, like you can smell it burning. And watch this. We take solder. Hopefully you guys can see this. Well, I didn't want to touch it, but I also wanted to prove that it was actually that hot. So we're going to take some solder. I'm just going to touch it right on the coil. Well, on the, what is it called? The stator. Let's see if we can do this. Kind of hard to see, but it does actually melt this. Come on. It's so hard because it's so hot that it's making the solder bend. Yeah, it's hard to show you guys. See if it'll melt on the side. No, I can't get it to melt. Oh, that's hot. Over there it melted. Oh yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm gonna get this shut down. Let it cool down, and then we'll check the powers and grounds, or well, not the powers and grounds, but we'll check the control side. But yeah, I can't believe it got that hot. Look at that. So guys, I've been charging the Jeep up. I'm going to turn my charger off. We're at 13.3 volts right now. Got my amp clamp still on the battery, and the blue trace is still going to the battery. But then up here, I connected the, might be a little hard to see, but I back probed the alternator, and we got the green and the yellow trace hooked up. I believe the green trace should be on the sense wire, because I believe the sense is just references battery voltage, and then this should be the field control, I guess. So when we turn this on, I believe this one should be pulse width modulated, so the yellow trace should either be constant on or be pulsing. So I guess we'll find out here in a second. Let's zoom back out. I keep forgetting to zoom out on this, so we'll go there. So we'll start this up and we'll see what happens. Let's move this over so it doesn't fall. So there we go. Let's see, do we get any lights on here saying not charging? Nothing saying not charging. So let's go look at our scope. And we're not charging again. You can see our current is all the way down at the bottom. So let's stop this. We'll turn the Jeep back off. And we'll look at our waveform. Let's see. Let's go back. Zoom in. Guess we'll just keep zooming in. So there's our duty cycle. At least that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's definitely a duty cycle. Zoom back out. Let's go to the next page. So somewhere between that last one and this one. Oh, there it is. That's where it goes. Looks like it goes full field. It's no longer being pulsed down. So yeah, we definitely got a bad alternator. So I'm gonna order a new one in. I think these are pretty pricey, and I don't think anybody had one when I checked, because the lady called and I quickly looked up a price, see if I could get one, and I think the dealership and the parts stores didn't have one. So when I get a new one and get it put back in, we'll get another capture. So guys, I got the alternator off. Here's the old one. Definitely got toasty, that whole stud's discolored. This thing is still hot. And you can see it like melted the glue, like burnt the glue. Got all the wires cleaned up. And all the mating surfaces are clean. Like on the engine, I cleaned all the surfaces. Got a new alternator. So we'll get this back together and we'll test it. So guys, I just want to show what I found. So we got the alternator back on. I wanted to point this out earlier, but this wire is like damaged and was fixed before. The radiator hose was replaced because it says Gates on it, and it's like zip tied to the AC line, so I'm sure it's probably rubbing there. It is rubbing there. It's so hard to see, but you can see where it's rubbing. It's rubbing here, which I'm assuming somehow it's getting pressure from the bottom of this when this is sitting on. It just goes on like that. You can see the marks where it's rubbing. Not 100% sure why, but this shouldn't be attached here, and these zip ties are just breaking. But it looks like something might have attached here in there. I don't know for sure. Oh, and there's no coolant in the bottle. Let's see if we can get a light over here. Yeah, it doesn't really help. There's definitely no coolant in there. It's just on the very, very bottom, you can see. It's way below add. You can't even see the line. See, there's none in there. It's all the way down here. I don't know if there's any in the radiator. I didn't check that. Oh, there's no coolant in the radiator either. This will be interesting. So guys, I got the Pico set back up. We're on our new alternator. Can't really show you, but it's the same spots as before. Should have a good connection. See in the control wires at ground. So we're going to start it up, and we're going to see if this fixes it. And then we'll do a battery test. Battery should be pretty charged. I had it charging most of the day so far. So let's see. Start this up. There we go. So we got it started. Look at that. Looks like we're charging. Oops. I didn't do that. So we're going to let this stabilize a little bit. So there we go. So now we'll shut this off. So there's pretty much no coolant in it. I don't know why. I guess they don't have a coolant level sensor because it's a reservoir. So let's go back a page. Oh, let's see what we got here. Minimize this. Zoom in a little bit more. There's our duty cycle. Oh, you know what? I must have the leads at different colors now. But you can see we are charging at 14.72. Let's see, what's our yellow at? Our sense wire is showing 11. And our charging current is around 2 amps. Oh, I mean, sorry, is that 2 amps? Yeah, 2 to 3 amps. So guys, we're going to turn on all the loads. We're going to see where our current and stuff goes. Is it the defroster on? And the lights? High beams? The air conditioner on. Put the defroster on. And the high beams. Is it rear defroster on? Yes. Oh, you know what, guys? I need to move my amp clamp. Let me move my amp clamp quick, and then we'll do this, because I'm looking at the battery current, and we don't have... We're just measuring the draw going into the battery. So, guys, I moved my amp clamp up here. We're going to start it up. Let everything. This would be good hanging We'll look at everything here and we'll see. Why is it not showing my, are we over the current? Let's go to, there we go. We were over. Okay, go ahead, turn everything on. So right now, let me grab this. Right now we're at 96 amps. Is everything on? Okay, so right now we're putting out like 80 amps or so. Let's we'll stop this. We'll save this. And we'll zoom in on it. Actually, you know what? I'll have him turn everything off. Okay, go ahead and shut everything off. Like, just shut all the loads off. And the lights if you can. No, not the car, just the lights. Like the radio, the lights, everything.
The frosters still lit, but I can't turn it off.
Well, if you press the temperature all the way down, it should turn off.
Well, I have the fan all the way
I mean the fan all the way down.
Fan's all the way down.
Okay. So there we go. What did we drop down to? Drop down to like 37 to 40 amps. So we'll save this one. The alternator. No load. And we'll zoom in on this. I think we got both on here now. You can shut it off. Oh no, we didn't get both on here. So we'll zoom in on this. Let's see. Oh, did I have filtering on my amp clamp? I did have filtering on. There we go. So yeah, we're definitely charging now. Stop this. So guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to go put a 100 amp load on this alternator. Actually, we could do it right here with my load tester. Gonna see what we can get this alternator up to. There we go. Let's stop this. You shut her off. Now we'll zoom in on this. And crap, I pressed the wrong one. Sorry about this, guys. I just got this. Let's see. Filtering on. There we go. So we hit peak current 197 amps. So that's pretty good. This alternator is definitely working. Okay, so guys, we're going to do a battery test on here. I got my, probably hard for you guys to see, but I got my amp clamp and stuff on the battery down here. Just gonna start this up and see how good the battery and, oh, you know what? before we do that, we're going to go up here, options. We want to extend our capture time to, we'll just do 20 seconds. Okay, so now we'll start it. Let's see. There we go. Look at our charging current go up. There we go. And it says recharge, initial state. This was an AGM battery. So we were charging at 30 amps, well 40 amps, so that's good. And it's worried about the voltage being at 14.7, but this is an AGM battery, so they can go up to like 15 point something charging usually. So I'm going to move my clamps around and we'll take this for a drive and we'll measure the alternator output while we're driving. Make sure this alternator doesn't fail. I had quite a few fail while driving. And I guess we might add some some pressure, air pressure to the front left tire. Oh, and we added like a gallon of antifreeze to this. So guys, got my Pico loaded up. We got the blue trace is our battery voltage, which I'm still connected to the battery. Red trace is the alternator current output. So right now we're outputting what, 50 amps or so, just under 50 amps. Let's see, 42 amps. And then the green trace is my amp clamp on the battery. So the battery's charging at like 3 amps, so that's pretty good. Here's my scan tool. You can see our duty cycles between 35 and 40 some. So duty cycle doesn't look that bad. And now you can see our target voltage or our actual voltage are almost exact. So that's pretty good. I want to crank up the loads real quick. So let's turn, let's go to defrost. We'll do front and rear. We'll turn our heated seats on. Can we turn the fan? No. So we'll do that. We'll turn our lights on. Let's see, is the radio on? Oh, I think I'm in reverse. Okay, so our radio's on, we got muted. Now, let's look at our current. Our current went up to around 70 amps. Let's see if high beams are on. So there we go, we're at like 70 amps, full load. And our duty cycle is 50%. Yeah, probably on average like 50%. Let's record this. Let's go for a drive. And you guys will be able to see the data on the scan, on the scope while we're driving. We'll just go around the block, make sure everything's good. And look, our tire pressure's updated. Oh, here, I'll bring up the duty cycle for you guys. So driving, all our heaters are on. We're at 30% duty cycle, full load. I think we're putting out around 80 amps right now. Yeah, it looks like 80 amps. take off our loads and see what happens. Let's see off. Take off all our loads. And we'll turn our lights off. So now we're down to like 40 amps. There you go. You can see our duty cycle's down to 12% or so, 18%. So our duty cycle dropped big time. So that's pretty awesome. So I just wanted to add this in the video. Hopefully you guys like it. See you later. Oh guys, I forgot to mention, we put a new radiator hose on here, and we put in some loom, and we cut the hose over here shorter so that it reaches, and also the hose clamps. The hose clamps are actually broke that were on here, so we put new hose clamps on. But there you go, now it's fitting underneath there, and we put some loom over top of it so it shouldn't rub